Hey, it's Ark, so welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you saw one of the shorts I made leading up to this video. Starting up this YouTube channel just cause honestly, thought it'd be fun, and you know what every channel needs? Well, you're looking at an avatar, or at least I wanted one. This first video is going to be my journey over like 12-ish hours of learning Blender and ended up making this little avatar y'all are seeing right now. Now, you may be wondering, why learn Blender? Why 3D over 2D or other programs? Well, first I've tried 2D. You can check out my Twitter or Blue Sky just to see the progress there. Got about 200-ish days in before I kind of just called it quits as I run out of steam and was kind of just getting fed up with it. What I have learned though is I'm finding 3D a lot more fun and also just makes much more sense to me. Don't know about any of y'all, but for some reason it just makes more sense. Now, as far as why Blender itself, well, it's got a lot of features to try. Animation, shaders, and okay, yeah, it was mostly because it's free. Main reason, not gonna lie. Now, while I'm still new to Blender and all this 3D modeling, I do have one semi-large hot take about the software from my first bit of time here. That is, I don't delete the starter cube. He did nothing wrong. He deserves a chance. Only deleting him if it is necessary or if he's just not needed for what I'm working on. Otherwise, he gets to say, he deserves a chance and I will die on this hill for the little guy. Now that my most controversial take on Blender is out of the way, this video is going to go over my first like 12-ish hours of learning Blender with the objective to make this avatar y'all are seeing. Now, while the goal was to do this in 12-ish hours, which I did hit for a basic idle animation, all the extra animations brought this up to this many hours here, so yeah, just quite a few bit more. Now with that whole prologue out of the way, let's get started, starting with the first day's project. Now my first day on this project, I decided I want to start with a really basic and short tutorial just to kind of, get a feel for the software. I went with this Brad's Art School video about making just a basic car. I decided instead though to make a truck. Wow, so much different. It was honestly though pretty good for getting a real basic handle on the software and some basics. If anyone else is looking to start Blender up, this is probably a pretty good starting place, at least it was for me. Also, all the tutorials I'll be mentioning are used heavily, I'll be putting down in the description below. Moving on now to day 2, I wanted to not get stuck in tutorial hell, so I decided to do something with no tutorials. I was going to take what I'd learned from the red truck yesterday and try something new but still in the same general field. I decided to make a motorcycle, which honestly was a lot more complicated than what I had initially thought. While working on this though, I really messed up the wheels. I was attempting to get them to work with an array going around the center, but it did not work at all. I really struggled with this part because I had messed up and applied some transformations and whatnot, and I did not feel like starting all over. Besides that little hiccup with the wheels, this was overall pretty good and I really liked how it came out at the end. So after 2-ish hours of work working on this motorcycle, I know, a lot done for 2 hours. But now that we've got both vehicles finished up, we've got both a red truck and an orange motorcycle. And with that, we had wrapped up project 2. Now, moving on from here, we're on to our last project before we start on the avatar. Now, I feel whenever you see a Blender beginner tutorial, it's either the donut or an isometric room. Now, I've tried the donut before, and honestly, it's too much of just a bunch of information that I was not needing for what I'm trying to do. Also, the isometric rooms in my opinion just look better. I'm a real sucker for isometric things, whether it's pixel art, hand-drawn, or 3D, so decided to try this one out. Now, I ran into a big problem with this though, is because I came into this isometric room without any real plan. I came into this just wanting to do a basic room, but I had no ideas or plans going in, and I think that's part of the reason why I lost steam for this part. I technically used a tutorial for this one by 3D Greenhorn, also linked below, but I used it more as a guideline than anything else. By the time I had finished the bed for this project, I was kind of just out of steam for it, so not really enjoying this room, I decided to make just a real quick desk and cabinet and call it done. I'm definitely going to eventually make another isometric room, so if you have any fun ideas or themes for it, let me know, as I feel that's what I was missing when I was going into this, because I had no real theme or plan going in. Moving on though to the last and final part of this video, which is going to go more in depth on to creating this little avatar y'all have been seeing this entire time. To start off with this avatar, I always knew I wanted something robotic. Why? Just kind of like them, that's all. I debated a full body or even something more Kamen Rider Tokusatsu-esque, but it seemed a bit daunting as a first real big project. Also with this avatar on the more basic side, I can always make variants to go along with other videos that I make down the line. and later on once I've tackled a couple of those I can try a full body or a bigger version. As for my inspiration for this guy, once I had decided on something smaller, I just kind of instantly knew I wanted something akin to a Portal Core or a Ghost from Destiny. And they were also inspired by Pointy Hat, as I love his D&D content and he's just at. So why can't I just be a little ball that looks like a Destiny Ghost or a Portal Core? Now, once I had decided on modeling this, that actually started off pretty well. Sadly though, with the modeling starting off well, there was one major, big, heartbreaking issue we had to do at the start. We had to delete the starter cube. Poor cube, you will be missed. Though modeling did go pretty smoothly afterwards. I learned a new technique for wrapping things around a sphere, which helped a lot, and also I used the subdivision modifier for once, as I have not used it once in any of the previous projects. Continuing on with him, he got a little ring with fins on it, and we called him done here. After this though, we were moving on to an area I had no prior knowledge going into. That was shaders and eventually rigging and animation. The initial shaders for this took me probably the longest time out of any section here for the avatar, as I barely opened this menu ever before. I knew for sure though that I wanted a cel shaded look for him, as I've always liked them. Think like Hi-Fi Rush and those types of games. Luckily for me, this part wasn't too bad. Just a color ramp here and there, adjusting a value there, and the cel shaded look was done. I also wanted the ability to change the face on the avatar easily, and luckily found a really good tutorial by Crashune Academy. Sorry if I said that wrong, I cannot pronounce things. And with that, I was able to easily get this done. We are going to ignore though how I kind of forgot to do UV unwrapping and normal texture maps and all that, and we can save learning that for another video. Moving on from that, we were on to the next step of this process, and that was rigging. While rigging looks scary, for my avatar luckily it was really basic. Does not mean it was easy. Now while I only had 7 bones total at the end, and one of them was just to easily change the face, I did mess up through a lot while trying to parent objects to the different bones. This caused a lot of issues, as I did not know how to unparent or change things around, and it turned into me just quite literally reloading a save every time it got too far for me to figure out how to recover. I also tried adding bone constraints, but either I was just really bad at them or they had it out to get me, as it got to a state where I didn't know how to recover from, and that alone had me reloaded like 4 times. After this though, I had the rig finished up and all pieces parented to the bone they needed to be. Luckily didn't have to do any weight painting or anything fancy, because with how this was going, I would not have survived. But now we were on to the final stage of this process, animation. This part though honestly just turned into me messing around and seeing what I liked from it. The first full animation I created was the avatar just spinning their ring and doing a little idle animation. Nothing fancy, just getting used to how timelines and all that worked. Now, while this was the end to the initial part of this process, but as you've seen throughout the video, there's a lot more animations and whatnot in the video, so I've gotten decently used to animating this little guy. Still not great, but better. Overall though, this first bit of learning Blender was really fun, and I'm definitely going to keep up at it. And if you're still here, thanks for watching this all the way through. If you've got any tips for Blender or the channel, let me know in the comments down below. As for future plans for this channel, it's just kind of going to be whatever. Whether that be more Blender with like maybe trying the sculpting tool, might do some game dev, maybe some gaming related videos, or who knows. But thanks for watching and see you next time. Also, quick little end card PSA. Sorry about the not too many animations actually used, because DaVinci Resolve decided to break on me at the very last stages of editing this. And also, trying to make Blender animations when you don't know how to get the audio to play besides playing in Resolve while trying to sync it up with Blender, not fun. So if anyone's got any tips for that, let me know.